Well, hello everybody. And it's what, is it the 5th already? I'm not even sure. But I thought I'd better come in and I'd better say hello and let y'all know what's been going on with me. I think I had the flu for starters, and I don't think I'm really over it. And I did how's everybody doing? This is Patsy B. I've changed my name just a little bit to the channel. I liked No Niche, but they said when I had the No Niche channel that YouTube couldn't figure out where to put me or something. So I needed to come up with something else. But I'm Patsy B and the Buzz. Every day has a story. And every day does have a story. And good or bad, funny or not funny, but every day does have a story. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Patsy B and the Buzz. There's always something going on. Like I said, good or bad, funny or not, you make up your own mind. But I'm glad that everybody's here, and I hope we can have a little bit of fun today. And I don't remember if I told you the snowsuit story. And if I did, please forgive me. Everybody hasn't heard it. But when I started kindergarten, and my mother, let me see, she had me when she was 18. And so I had to start kindergarten when she was probably 22. And she was from Houston and had been raised in Louisiana. So, of course, the lady didn't know anything about snow, but she did know that she needed to get her daughter a snowsuit. So she bought me a snowsuit from when I started kindergarten. And before I could get the snowsuit off, I had to use the bathroom. I had to go pee-pee. And the poor teacher was trying to get the snowsuit off me, and it was like one of those that was in that movie, A Christmas Carol, I think, where the boy was, oh, there goes the king, where the boy was like this, And I couldn't get out of it, and needless to say, I had an accident. I want you to know that accident followed me from kindergarten to the 6th grade. There were a couple of boys. I think the girls forgot or they didn't care or whatever, but there were 2 little boys. They were relentless. They would not give up. Here comes Patricia. She peed her pants, all the time. Even when new kids came in, hey, that's Patricia. She peed her pants. I was only 4, and by then, I was, 7? And I mean, they didn't stop. It was horrible, horrible. And when people say, wouldn't you like to be young again? No. I wouldn't want to go through that. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But anyway, I was so happy when we went to junior high school, because depending on where you live, you went to different, what they call them, intermediary now. I don't know what they call them, but it was junior high. And I was so glad I went to junior high that these 2 little boys didn't go, because nobody knew in junior high that I had peed my pants. So, anyway, that's one of my stories I was going to tell today. And I have another story that I wanted to tell y'all. And I don't know how to tell it, because it's funny and it's not funny. But my point in telling it is, I've always known people who are like me, do things that they don't mean to do, or they make a lot of faux pas, But anyway, I have this very good friend, and I'm not going to call her name, and she's a realtor. And one of our other friends had passed away, and she was out of town when she read it and everything, and she says, well, to her husband, we got to get back because we have to go to this funeral. So they went to the funeral, and it said that the viewing would be at 11 o'clock, and after 11 o'clock, the body was going to the veteran cemetery. So They had to be there. So she got there, and they signed the book, and they went in. And she said, as she looked around, she thought, how sad, as we get older, we lose touch with people, because she didn't see any other realtors there. And, but anyway, they stayed for the service and everything, and they gave their condolences to the family. And then it was time to view the body. So they went up, and as they were, when they walked up to the body, she looked at her husband and she said, I don't know this man. I don't know who this is. Now, mind you, she had gone all, through and talked to the family, and, I knew you're, well, and he was a great guy and so forth. And she didn't know anybody there, and nobody knew her. And I'm going to add this only so you can picture this in your mind. It was not everybody there was white, and she was the only black. Her and her husband were the only black couple. So they left, and they went on and made it to the Veterans Cemetery, to our friend's funeral. But when she told me this, I said, can you imagine those people? They were probably telling people how gracious you were, but who the heck were you? They didn't know who you were. And she said, I know. She said, Pat, she said, and I hope I didn't say it too loud, when she walked up and she saw the man, she said, I don't know who this is, I don't know who this is. This is something I would have done. I probably would not have handled it as well, because I'm kind of, like that. But the people, forever, they'll be wondering, who were those people? They'll ask everybody, do you know who those people were? And of course they'll say no, But she talked, how you go to a funeral and you talk to the family and you say, oh, I knew him so well. We did this, we did that, whatever. And then later on the family's talking and they're saying, that was such a nice couple. Who were they? And everybody will say, I don't know. But anyway, I got a couple of things that I needed from Dollar Tree. So, these are some flowers I'm going to use on my Valentine tree. Aren't those pretty? Got all this stuff from the Dollar Tree. So that's one of my projects. Oh, and let me stop and tell you the other one. So, I know how to prep and I know how to winterize. I know how to do that stuff, right? You can't tell me nothing. So, I called my daughter, the one that I'm always in competition with, and I always usually lose. But I won, for the Christmas decorations. But anyway, so I called her and I asked her, I said, did you guys get the things for your faucets, the covers? And she said, no. She says, we're just going to tie T-shirts around the faucets. And I said, okay, that's pretty classy there. But yeah, maybe it'll work, And I made fun of her. So I had my covers on my faucets and everything, and we were letting the water drip, and we had drawn some water just in case, because Texas is now, since we have our own grid and everything, we don't connect to the rest of the United States for our electricity. Thank you. And and the big freeze we had in 21 where Ted Cruz left his little dog home by herself and said that the HOA guard or somebody, wherever he lives, was checking on her, and you saw her at the door, looking out the door while he was somewhere in Mexico. He did it again. We were getting ready to have a freeze. He was boarding a plane, and somehow the message got to him, this is not a good idea. And he ended up canceling. Can you believe that? Every time we have a freeze, you leave your people? But anyway, I thought that was funny. Maybe it wasn't. So I was ready for the freeze. made a big pot of soup prior, you know, and we were gonna have soup and grilled cheese sandwiches, and we're just gonna hunker down and so forth. So my daughter and I were sitting in here, and the house is a mess. It's a total wreck. We got sheetrock missing. It's dusty. We have floors that are warped. It's a mess. It's just a mess. We had blowers here that practically blew me out of the room. And I fell asleep in here with all those blowers, and it was blowing the dust. And so I don't know if I had the flu or what, but anyway. So let me show you the other stuff I got. Now we're waiting for the adjuster, and he's taking his time. I don't see any holes in this. So I guess I'll just have to throw this on the table on my Valentine tablescape. And of course, I'll let you see that. And I don't know who watches my channel, if you have your own channel. I know some of you do. And usually when you subscribe to me, I come to your channel to reciprocate. And a lot of you don't have anything posted yet. Y'all got to get busy. Listen at me, like I've just had a lot of fun. You know, I'm not monetized or anything. I've just had fun. Oh, so I had those little hearts, but they don't have holes in them, and they're kind of, it's too, I can't use a hole punch. And I ordered these because I like them. And my daughter has a channel up, and we tested some snacks one day, and they were like this, only they were from Japan, and I think one was from Mexico. So I could snack, and I guess you guys can tell by the way I look. I can snack all day. These are good. And I bought this because mine is rusted out, coming apart. I don't know how old it is. Let me see, how old am I? 82. I don't know how old it is. It's not 82, but it's pretty darn old. So I picked me up another one. That size. And I bought some eczema cream because I do have eczema, and I'm having a terrible time right now with my skin. And I'm not sure why. I didn't know I picked up some white cheddar cheese ones. I don't remember tasting these. Let's taste them, okay? Let's sample here. I like them better. It's a little lighter taste. It's good. And another thing. So I'm having lamb chops for dinner. So my daughter says, we're not. I have two daughters here. We don't eat lamb. Since when? You ate lamb, you ate moose, you ate deer, you ate it all. We don't eat lamb. Okay. More for me. And I have a little table that I'm setting this stuff on. It's not something that's going to stay here, but with all the upheaval from the flood, it is. I never tried these. And I don't know the brand, but my daughter doesn't like butter beans. So I don't think either one of them like them. And I always need cream of mushroom. And I know that they don't use real meat. And they admitted it. They use manufactured meat now. Campbell's does. And it's on their can. It says something engineered meat. But I still use, I hope they're using real vegetables. Let's see what else we got. I didn't buy any prepper stuff. Well, look at here. I got 2 dog foods. 2 cans of dog food. And I got some grape juice. You know, I used to drink grape juice all the time. Why did I stop? And I stopped drinking milk. Why did I stop drinking milk? Do y'all still drink milk and all that? And I have to do something in my room on my floor. My floor has a crack. And I think that radon is coming up through the crack. I don't know if y'all heard of radon. That was a big deal back in the 80s and 90s. So I'm going to patch the crack. Got a few more things over here. And most of this stuff, no, was not $1. And, you know, I had some cooling racks for cookies, cakes, whatever. And somehow I think they got taken out to the outside to the grill. And then after that, I don't know what happened to them. So I thought I would replenish. But I'd only replenish one at a time because I'm so old, I don't need to just replenish. This will be enough for what I want to do. And I'm going to make a vision board. Gosh, how much was this? Oh, $1.25. It sure is thick. It's not 2. It's just 1. And it's just big enough. I also got a piece of construction paper, but it was too big. My vision board, I don't have that much vision anymore. But anyway, it's for my vision board. And the glue is for my vision board also. Do y'all ever make one? It really is fun. It's really fun. And I got a bunch of stickers to go on mine because nobody subscribes to magazines anymore. I used to cut everything out of the magazines, but, you know. So let's see. What else we got here? I don't know what has happened to my spoons. So I have, you know, I have a good set that's of stainless steel. I used to have a set of, I still have a set of my mother's silver. And there's some pieces missing. So my mother carried this silver around forever. And I think her mother is the one that got it, bought it, and somebody came to her door in the 40s, the late 40s. I don't know if it was a Stanley man or who. But anyway, they sold her this silver. And we had to shine it, you know, for the holidays and stuff. And then when my grandmother, you know, gave up her house and she started living with us, she gave my mother the silverware. And it was a big deal, you know, to polish it, you know, for the holidays and everything. So to make a long story short, somebody was buying silver one day. And I said to Hunter, I said, all the pieces aren't here anymore. So we might as well get rid of it. So he came back home and he said, it's not real silver, Pat. It's silver plated. And they bought it under the guise or pretense that it was real silver. And all those years they worshiped it and polished it and thought, you know, they really had something. And they really didn't. So I don't know where that is. It's somewhere. But anyway, we needed some more spoons. I don't understand how spoons disappear here because we don't have little kids. But it disappears. Anyway, I bought 3 glue sticks just in case my daughters want to do a vision board too. But I didn't buy them the cardboard and all, that board and construction paper. And I needed some good tweezers. And not because I have really good eyebrows, because they're all falling out, but I just wanted to be able to give them a shape. And then every now and then I have a hair that's, should I tell this? I have a long hair that hangs right here, and I have to take something to pluck it. So I got me some more tweezers. I had those tweezers, that looks like scissors, but for some reason they don't grasp anymore. So we're almost finished here. Oh, and because I had the sniffles that turned into such a big thing, I got a bunch of tissue. And that will come in handy. And, the banana Laffy Taffy. I don't know if anybody likes this as much as I do. But I just love it. And I told you I do snacks all the time. And I love these trolley crawlers. I'm not going to eat all this in 1 week. How will you know? And these, they feel stale, but I love the peach ones. My husband got me hooked on those. And this one is very berry, and that's nice. I'm gonna love this one. My niece usually comes and stays with us on the weekend. Oh, and she has a movie. And she's making the movie herself. And there's 2 episodes of it, and it's on YouTube, and it's called Tent City. It is really, really good. And it's being filmed in Houston. And she's the producer, director, whatever, and her name is Contessa Thornton. And if you have a chance, go take a look at Tent City. Right now, there's only 2 episodes. Number 2 is excellent. Number 2 is excellent. Very talented young lady. And very adventurous. She went to Vietnam over the summer because she's writing a story about Vietnam because her father was there. And oh, and did I tell you that I'm going to start making sourdough bread and I have to make my starter? Isn't that a cute little cup? You know what that reminds me? Does anybody remember Irish coffees? That reminds me of an Irish coffee cup. And that's something else I want to tell you. You all got to be big about this. Don't laugh, okay? I bought several of those because I thought, even just having my coffee in the morning, I just love those. I think they're absolutely, how much were they? Probably, I don't remember. And it doesn't say. But anyway, I'm gonna start making sourdough bread, so I have to make my starter. I called a friend that I've been friends with for 40 years, and she used to make it. I called her and she said, "No, Pat," she said, "I stopped doing that a long time ago. I don't have any starter. So you just have to do that yourself." She said, it's not hard. I know. just takes, I think, what, about 7 days, maybe 7 to 10 days for it to kick in. It's okay. I actually got me a starter jar. Now I have a bread maker, but I just wanted to try the sourdough, like just bake it like old-fashioned. I had one more cup. So that's for company. Dollar Tree. Love it. Love the shape. And there's my baby. And I bought a couple of these because I'm trying to redo my closet and become a little bit more organized in there as I'm purging still. Several things I've purged and end up putting it back. So I bought 2 of those. I bought a larger one and I bought a smaller one, and both of them had lids. And this one was $4, this size. Says it's 14 quarts storage boxes, so I don't know. I just have so much stuff that needs to be organized. And we always use foil around here, and you don't get that much at Dollar Tree. 15 square feet at, how much is it? If it's $1.25, that's a deal, because this stuff is so expensive. I don't know how much it is, and it's, I don't know where my receipt is either. So, like I said, my mother, she married my father in Louisiana, and then they moved when he got out of the military. He met somebody in the military. I don't know if I told you the story. Anyway, he met a guy in the military. Matter of fact, he saved his life. But anyway, the guy said, if you ever, when you get out, if you want to move somewhere, he said, move to Seattle. He said, I have a jewelry store. And my mother said, you know, she's, sure he does. I bet he does, you know. And he said, I would love to teach you some things, you know, and I'd give you a job in the jewelry store. So they made that move, and that's how I was raised up there. I moved there when I was 6 weeks old, and my mother still had some southern ways about her. I mean, I didn't know what they were. I just thought she was just mean. But they used to take me to the parades. And, oh, you guys, I fell in love with the bagpipes. Oh, so as I was growing up, and they were like, well, do you want to play an instrument? And I said, yes. And my mother said, what do you want to play? And I said, I want to play bagpipes. And she just stared at me. And she said, people like you don't play bagpipes. She didn't explain. She didn't say why she said that. And I'm telling you, it just scared me to death, you know. So as I grew up, and it took me until I got to high school to understand what she was really saying was that black people don't play the bagpipes. But I heard that there is a woman now. I mean, I'm in my 80s now, but I probably couldn't, you know, whatever. But there's a woman now that plays jazz on bagpipes. It's a black lady, and I thought, yay! So my mother was wrong. People like me could. Just think, I would have been maybe one of the few first or whatever. But she wouldn't even let me. So, like I said, I hope I haven't repeated myself. And I think I did tell you about my husband and the roses. But there was another thing that I talked him into doing, and I shouldn't have. And I think I talked him into doing about 3 things when I realized this guy's not kidding. He's not a handyman. So you're not going to turn him into a handyman. He's a tech man. That's all he is. And you just leave him alone and let him be happy with what he does. And he taught me a lot of stuff with the computer. But anyway, I enjoyed y'all today. And like I said, it's a new name, but it's still me. And if you were new here today, please stick around. Conversation gets better. Sometimes I do current events. There's not very much going on that is too very humorous. So, and you know what? When I was talking about Justin Baldoni and his case with Blake Lively, that wasn't funny either, but I was a big fan of Justin Baldoni's and have been ever since, what is that thing he used to be on? Oh, I can't think of the name of the show. But Jane the Virgin. Yeah, I've been a big fan since then. So what's that been, about 8 years? And then I was a big fan about some of the stories that he did. You know, some of the movies he did, they were all movies about people that had issues and how their lives went and how, you know, they managed and stuff. And he was very hands-on, you know, with those movies. And I just thought he was a nice person. Oh, and during the COVID, he used to call at night. You had to, you know, like go live to his phone channel, whatever. And he would go on, and during the course of the conversation, he would actually reach out and talk to somebody and put them, and they would just be, oh my God, it's Justin Baldoni. And I kept waiting, you know, I'd put lipstick on and stuff. So I could go, oh my God, it's Justin Baldoni at 11, 12 o'clock at night, who has on lipstick and blush and all that. But I was, you know, I was just waiting. So anyway, that's all the buzz for today, folks. And thank you so much. And I hope to see you. Oh, and if the sound isn't real good, I let my son use my phone, and I don't know what he did to it. I thought I was talking a little louder so that y'all could really hear me. And for my birthday, my daughter gave me a microphone, and I hid it. I can't find it. I can't find it. I hid it from myself even. Anyway, I'm going to go now. And thank you, ladies. We had a little buzz in the hive. Bye.